Hello, everyone, and welcome to SporTView. This is our annual football preview show. My name is Jay Wyman. Along with me is my co-host, Tom Emmons.
Hey,
Tom,
Jay.
welcome aboard. And this year we'll be talking about our, a team that may possibly going through for a three-peat here in the Super Bowls. They've won back-to-back Super Bowls. And, we've got a lot of the kids coming in. We have the captains coming in. We have the offensive line coming in, which was a treat for us. And, of course, the coaches came in, too. So,
Well, Jay, I tell you, after back-to-back championships in 2014 and 2015, this Panther team is not going to sneak up on anybody, especially with returning starters, returning the offensive and defensive MVPs of the Tri-Valley League, plus 4 All-Stars. I mean, Holliston's got a mark on its back this year.
Yeah, and the one thing you always want to be careful of is, and the coaches will tell you this too, that they don't want to look at this and go too far down the road. I mean, you really do have to take in football one game at a time, because that 1 or 2 slip-ups and it's over.
It's easy to say. It's hard to do, because a lot of stuff happens, and you start looking ahead and feeling good, and there's a lot of confidence on this team. They're going to have to hold it together, but there's every reason to think that they should. It's really the golden era. Looking back at the last 7 years with the Holliston Panthers since 2009, they have the best record in Eastern Massachusetts. 72 wins they have. 5 of those 7 years, Tri-Valley League champions. 6 of those 7 years, they've gone to the playoffs, 4 trips to Gillette, and 3 rings. I mean, it doesn't get much better than this, but it may with a big season here in 2016.
It really may, too, and they've actually even dropped a division, correct? In this situation, they're a division lower than they were last year.
Well, it's kind of hard to say. The playoff system changes. They went from 6 divisions to 8 divisions, and they renumbered them. So Holliston was in Division 4 last year. Now, technically, they're in the 5th highest division. And so they dropped one, but they resorted all the schools, and now they go from 1A, 2A, all the way down to 4A. And now what you have is schools aligned completely by enrollment, male enrollment at those schools. So there has been some juggling in the Tri-Valley League. Hopkinton went up to Division 2. Westwood went up to Division 2A with Medfield. Division 3 is Holliston, Norton, Medway, and then a new one, Ashland, moved up and is in the same playoff division. So we could have a Panther-Clocker playoff game this year, which would be a lot of fun.
That would be fun.
And then Dover, Sherburne, and Bellingham are in 3A, and then Millis is in Division 4A.
So even though we were in 3 this year and 4 last year, they're in the 5th highest division this year, right?
But, cutting through all of that, Holliston football is on the map. There is no question about it. People know about this program being a great one over the last 7 years, as I mentioned. Already coming in are the preseason picks. Danny V has them picked as the best team in Division 3 South, and ESPN has them number 14 in the state. So they're not sneaking up on anybody this year.
Not this year, no.
Some other Tri-Valley League news, as a little bit of an adjustment in the large and the small division. Norton, who Holliston played last year, moves up into the large division, and Medway moves into the lower division, and that appears to be completely on enrollment, having to do with this adjustment that the MIAA made to the different divisions. And then also, we're going to, next year, not to look ahead even farther, but 2017, there's going to be a new team in the Tri-Valley League. At least one. The Dedham Marauders will be on the schedule, and we'll find out. They should be joining the small division, but I would not be surprised if there's a 12th team in the Tri-Valley League next season. So the Panthers are kind of ready to go. They've got a tremendous home record here at Comedian Field over the last 8 years. winning 88% of their games. They've only lost 5 here at home, and they are undefeated in the playoffs, Jay. So just got to get that number 1 seed again.
Yeah, well, the home games, I know, we'll be remiss if we don't mention that The Voice does all the home games, Andy Porter, right?
That's the whole reason.
Yeah, so that's how they win.
I'll just say Andy's undefeated in the playoffs. That's
there
all he
go.
needs to know.
Okay.
You know, and one of the best that we really enjoy this time of the year. It's very fun, you know, getting ready for the football season and speculating on all the changes. And, you know, even though we're starting to get excited about it, the thing is, it's been happening in the weight room. You know, after last year's Super Bowl, you know, the juniors got together, started working out. Let's get ready for the 2016 season. And the wonderful thing we've seen over the number of years that we've done it is how much the boys improve from year to year. I mean, they're just, who was that last year? And all of a sudden, they're such a great player and an exciting part of this team. I think if the captains, this year's captains, improve as much as last year's captains had improved, look out, Jay. And there's a lot of reasons to believe that they will.
Yeah, they got tremendous size. Once again, we'll see and talk to these offensive linemen, and you'll see the size they have, the agility, the speed, the backs. Of course, you know, you got the great quarterback and Jack Barrett, and you know, Jack, as you said, he was the offensive player of the year last year, and then of course Sam Matthew comes in. He was the defensive player of the year last year. So there's 2 of your captains. The other captains, you know,
Ratcliffe, Sally, and Mulvaney, all Tri-Valley League All-Stars.
Yeah, and they've been in the program for 3-4 years, so it's really something that I think this is going to be a special group.
Jack Barrett threw for 1,585 yards, 18 touchdowns, ran for over 900 yards and 13 touchdowns. I mean, that's a big piece of your offense to bring back. Very talented guy. Sam Ratcliffe with 300 yards and 5 touchdowns, and then very active on the defensive side of the ball, although we just found out he's going to be in a new position this year at defensive end. Exciting. Mulvaney, just ESPN just called him the road grader. That was the scouting report on 6'2", 265 Mark Mulvaney. And then Sam Matthew, 528 all-purpose yards, six touchdowns, and he was the leading tackler on the team last year, and he's back. So lots to look forward to.
Future looks very, very bright for them right now.
Yeah. So, without further ado, we've got the offensive line, the captains, and the coaches.
The coaches.
Okay, we're here with the captains of the 2016 Holliston Panther football team. Going to have them introduce themselves to you right now.
Ben Sally, center and D-end.
Sam Matthew, wide receiver and safety.
Sam Ratcliffe, running back and defensive end.
Mark Mulvaney, offensive and defensive line.
Jack Barrett, quarterback.
Jack, while you got the mic in your hand there, talk a little bit about how the summer's gone so far. I mean, you guys are coming off 2 Super Bowl championships, and I know you guys are looking for a third, right? How's the summer gone? What have you guys been doing?
Summer's been going well. Working our tails off. 6 a.m. workouts all throughout the summer. The preseason's gone well. We've had two scrimmages where, we've been sloppy in some areas, but we've picked it up, and we're looking forward to Framingham.
Just to repeat what Jack said, 6 a.m. workouts all summer. Everybody's getting there, working hard, so I'm looking forward to the season.
I think the summer's been definitely a good summer. We've been working hard, obviously, as those two said, and the lifts went really well. I think we're well-conditioned, we're in good shape, and I'm looking forward to Framingham.
To add on to what those guys are saying, Coach Galley always talks about how we get after in the summer, and that's what separates us from other programs. So I think we've had a great summer up there with both Super Bowl teams. So I'm really looking forward to the season. We're looking like a strong team, conditioned, and
well, you are a strong team. Last year, the team, a little bit of an underdog status. Nobody thought, Holliston was going to win. This is the time Holliston was going to take it on the chin. They were wrong. But now everybody's like, okay, Holliston's got a target on their back because, you're the defending 2-time champs. How do you use that to your advantage when you're, leading this team?
We like to focus on ourselves. We have a little saying called "Be the Hunter." That's what our coaches tell us. and that's all about just staying the course and worrying about what we can handle rather than what was on social media and everything else. So, we just stay our course. We work hard day in, day out, and practice hard, and just worry about ourselves really, and prepare for each opponent each and every week.
Mm-hmm. You hunting on the offensive line? You're making all the calls, Ben?
Yep, I call it the defensive formations. We're trying to help out anyone who needs help where they're supposed to be going. So, yeah.
In the offensive line, Ben, we're going to get them in here in a couple minutes, but I'm a big proponent, obviously, as you know, of the offensive line. How's it coming out? You guys got a lot of talent.
Yeah,
and a lot of
we have
four
seniors and a sophomore starting who has varsity experience last year. So, and we're all good friends, so we have good chemistry together. We work well together. We just got to make sure we clean up a few things so we can get the job done.
Mm-hmm. Great. So, how's the offense looking, Sam? You're playing a new position this year, actually. That's what I wanted to ask you. You moved on, defensive end. How's that going?
It's going well. I think it's took a little time to adjust, but it's in some ways it's similar to linebacker, in some ways it's not. It's all about just like as long as you do your job, the rest of the defense should take care of itself. So I just have to worry about doing my job each and every play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Coach Athy will turn you loose once in a while too, won't he?
Oh yeah,
that's
definitely.
when it gets fun. Yeah,
definitely. Yep.
Well, great. Guys, we wish you all the best of luck. Thanks for being here in the studio, and everybody will be following the Panthers this year. Awesome. So, captains of the Holliston Panther football team. All right, next up, we're going to introduce you to the Holliston Panther offensive line of 2016. Actually going to have them introduce themselves right now.
Mike McKenna, I'm tight end.
Mark Mulvaney, offensive tackle.
Ryan Vaza, offensive guard.
Ben Sally, center.
Mike Bazisco, left guard.
Scott Elliott, left tackle.
And of course, the coach, Jim Perry. Jim, tell us about the offensive line and how they're doing this year so far in practice.
It's early yet. They're doing very well though. We've been blessed this year that we have 5 guys back that are have varsity experience. One of them has started since his freshman year and will be his 4th year starting. Another one has started since his freshman year, but it will be his 2nd year starting. Mm-hmm. And the other guys, Ben Sally's been a 3-year starter as well. So we have a lot of experience within this group. Ryan Vaza stepped in last year when we needed him to, converted into a lineman, and has done very, very well. And Mike Bazisco came back to us this year, and we're glad to have him back. And he is shoring up that line with these guys. This group's special. Mm-hmm. They are friends. I have always said with these guys that you don't need to like each other to work together, but this group really likes each other, and they show it. They communicate, not as much as I would like sometimes, but they communicate well together, and they have one common goal, and that's what makes them unique.
Well, you set the bar pretty high on communications out on the field.
Yeah.
If there's people here in the stands, it's you.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I've been a blessing or a curse. I have a big mouth, so it helps at times. Sometimes it hurts me, but overall, these guys understand my point, and they do it for each other. Mm-hmm. They work hard for each other.
You really like your offensive linemen to, that togetherness, that trust factor. You've dubbed it the brotherhood of the offensive line. It now branches out to the whole team. But what factors into brotherhood for you?
Well, I mean, to me, it's everything. It's everything I grew up with. I've always been part of a brotherhood. Sports is kind of what kept me going in life. When things weren't easy, I always turned to my teammates or to my brothers. I have 2 immediate brothers, and then my teammates were always there for me. So when the roads got tough, I always had somebody to lean on. And, within a team, these 5 guys, and I add in a 6th, with Michael as a tight end, Michael's really proven that he is one of us. He is one of the best blocking tight ends you're going to find in this league. But with these 5 guys, they have to work together as one to accomplish a goal. If one of them lets down, it's not like any other position where, okay, you have somebody that can cover for you. these guys have to perform together. They have to communicate well together, and they trust each other. They battle with each other. They'll bleed with each other, and that's what it comes down to with these guys. And they're not satisfied with, individual goals. You have guys within this program. Mark has some unbelievable accolades that have come along, but he's not satisfied. He wants team goals. He's in this for another ring, and that's what he wants above everything else. And just talking with these guys, they're a special group of guys, and I'm just honored to be with them.
Coach, going a little technical here, but you guys are fortunate. Maybe the offensive line is maybe unfortunate. You have two really high-powered different offenses that you run. You run obviously the war offense, and then you run the spread offense. How is it teaching that? I mean, are they separate blocking schemes? Do they have to learn two different sets of blocking schemes for that, or how does that work?
Yeah, there is two different sets of blocking schemes. One of them within our war offense can be basic at times, but we are given week to week, we modify things as to what we need to play for our offensive line. You have to be willing to roll with the changes, and these guys change very quickly. We've made game changes the day of the game. We've made game changes at halftime. We made a game change 2 years ago in a Super Bowl game, and they have to be able to roll with those changes. The war offense is blocked in a certain way, depending upon what you get presented in front of you. We've had every imaginable front thrown at us, so that makes these guys seasoned veterans to that. Within the spread offense, sometimes we're able to dictate what the defense is going to be able to do, or they leave something open. So it is a different blocking scheme within the spread offense as well. And then we'll decide whether we want to bring Michael down into the box or not as a blocking guy or even as a receiver out of the box. And we also have the ability to bring in two tight ends if we so choose. So we haven't had to put in very much this year. We've had our whole offensive package has already been installed because we have the luxury of 5 guys returning that know our offense. So now it's just where we can take this from here. So,
well, let's hear from the guys a little bit. What's your favorite part, or what are you looking forward to most about this season, Scott?
Just coming back. I'm really happy to play with these 5 guys to my right here, and just going through the season, just working hard and playing every Friday nights with the guys that I love.
Like Scott said, I love these guys. These guys are my brothers. Just like Coach said, I'll bleed for these guys. I'm really looking forward to the season. I think we can do some great things.
Yeah, I agree. We're just great friends, and we love being on the line together. And we're just hoping to make things happen this year.
Yeah, like what they're saying. I really never imagined myself as like a lineman. I was kind of like a running back, but I'm so glad I get to be with these guys, and even Mike too. And it's just a great brotherhood, and we're all good friends.
Mark, how do you guys showing the love when you're out there on the field, huh? Really?
I mean, we all just appreciate what one another do. We understand the work that has gone into it. So in the off season, we're all workout partners. So it's not just in season. We're all together throughout the off season. So.
Yeah, I'm just excited to kind of spawn with these guys and do exciting things with these guys, and it'll be great and a fun season.
I got to ask you my question. What's more fun, blocking for the runs or the passes? Runs, because you get to attack, right? Yeah, you get to go out. Awesome. Look, you guys, I am so happy. I mean, Coach, you've got a great line here, and you've had some great ones in the past, but this one I know is a little bit special. And I'm really thrilled. I can't wait, because, we understand football teams are built from the front back and from the side middle out. So that front means everything. And to have a group like you, I know Coach Kiley's really happy, and those running backs are happy. And sometimes we'll even get a touchdown for one of these guys, maybe, huh?
Yeah, don't forget about the Matt Mealy Running Lineman Award.
Yeah,
so
it's the biggest
when you
award.
Hear poison, you might get a chance to run with that ball, and we'll make you famous. Mealy did once, but the second time he almost scored. So that's why we got a trophy. Well, thanks for being on the show, guys, and we wish you all the best. And we'll be there covering you this season with the rest of the town. So the offensive line of the Holliston Panthers. Okay, we're here with head coach Todd Kiley and assistant coach Paul Affey to talk a little bit about the season. And so, how's this 2016 team looking so far for you, Todd?
Well, it's it's all started the day after, as we've talked about, the day after our state championship win for these guys. You don't need to push these guys too much. They are a self-motivated group, and we're rolling right along. We're where we thought we would be at this point. We just need to improve every single day, and this team is willing to put in the time to do that. So if we can stay healthy, these guys are giving themselves a chance to win every time they take the field. So, and that's all you can ask.
Mm-hmm. Well, a little bit different this year versus last year preseason. Last year, nobody believed in you, thought the Tri-Valley League crown was up for grabs. You proved them wrong, and now everybody knows they're gunning for Holliston. And that's just different. It's great being underdogs. You guys relished it last year and just chewed up that underdog status. How do you take being the big dog now? There's no question about it. How do you use that to your advantage?
Yeah, you know what? It really does not change what we do. I mean, we're doing the same things we do every single year, and these kids are locked in like last year. It's a team. It's a group that wants to leave their own legacy like last year. Mm-hmm. We try and keep those press clippings out of what we do and what motivates us. What motivates us is to go out there as a family and go out and try and kick butt on Friday nights. And it's about working during the week and getting that accomplished. And, we know what the media likes to talk about. And we do our thing. And we're always going to do our thing. And I know it's hard. As kids, you get caught up in that type of stuff. So last year, yes, a little bit of an edge, trying to prove people wrong. This year is just a motivated group that doesn't want to see it slip on their watch, and not so much that is to just go out and be the best team that they can possibly be.
I noticed that talking to the captains and even to the offensive line, I noticed that they have that. It's a quiet confidence, you kind of don't know what to expect after back-to-back Super Bowls, And we were all kids. Once you expect maybe a little cockiness, I didn't see that at all. I just saw confidence, and they really understand what you're talking about. Focus. When you guys are exactly what you guys are talking about, and you're saying, come back. You have to work harder. What happened last year is over. Right. This is a brand new thing.
It's a humble group. It is. It's a humble group. It's a great group of kids. I know I sound like a broken record sometimes, but it really is. I mean, the leadership has been outstanding. The work ethic, watching the film, nobody's taken a play off. This is, we got to, obviously we're just scratching the surface here. We got to get going, but it's a so far so good type of deal, and it's just it's a group that I enjoy working with, and we talk about it staff. It's after school every day, I enjoy. It's only been a few days of that, but I enjoy coming up to the high school and working with these guys.
Yeah, who is your staff? Let Todd.
To Coach's point, just one thing.
Go ahead.
Jay, you said there's a quiet confidence, there's a focus, and what I've said before, a lot of these kids, many of you just had in here, are 3-year starters, and they know what it takes to get there and the road it is, and you can't go looking at down the road. You need to approach this thing game to game, and that focus has got them success over the last 2 years, because a lot of these kids were integral parts of the last 2 state championships, and I think that drives them. Just that we know the recipe, so we're not going to deviate from that, but now we have to lead that. And to Coach Kiley's point, this collectively, and he said it, is probably, we've had great leadership over the years, but as a unit, one of the best, group of leaders, and it resonated all through the senior.
Well, they've seen great leadership the last couple of years.
They've been mentored under some great leadership.
They really have.
Yeah.
That's a great point. The mentorship that these kids have gotten over the years. I mean, you go back 2 years, you can even go back further than that. I mean,
they just know the commitment it takes, and it's a lot of work, and it starts the day after the season. So, staff.
Oh, I did want to ask you about your staff. 14th season this year for you, and not a lot of changes. Any changes this year?
No changes at all. It's the same crew back, which is an awesome crew. Every coach plays their role to perfection. We all have a little part, and it's I shouldn't say little part. These guys play a huge part, but it's. Yeah, I mean, we can finish each other's sentences. It's great when you can keep continuity there from year to year, and
for the kids as well.
Yeah, and it's and we spend more time with each other than we do our spouses in season, which we have great
spouses together, which is kind of warped as a group. So.
But you do need the spouses on board. You know, when you put in the time that we put in, it's a lot of time
invested.
It's a lot of time, but you see the amount of time these kids put in, and you don't want to leave any stone unturned. So, no, wives are totally on board. These guys do a great job. Everybody has their role.
So who do you have? Who are the coaches? What are their specialties?
So you have Jim Perry, who's you just had on, our offensive line coach, our assistant head coach. He's our technology coordinator. Does a ton behind the scenes. He does our inside backers on defense. So he does quite a bit. Coach Athy here, he runs our strength and conditioning in the summer. He heads that. And then in season, he's our D coordinator and coaches our safeties and our outside backers when we're screwing down our safeties. And then offensively does our running backs. And, just a ton behind the scenes as well. All these coaches do. And then Coach Bob Murphy, who's been with me since year one. We were just talking about all the coaches that we've had in and out here, which it hasn't been a lot of turnover, here and there. But he does the D-line. He's kind of heads all the football operations before games and preseason, getting all that stuff
Murph has the towels
squared away
ready for tomorrow night.
Oh, definitely. Yep.
Skill players.
Yep. It's awesome.
That's all you need to know about Coach
You need
Murph.
somebody with OCD in that
they're
role.
Probably ironed
And
right now, too.
He just does a great job with his guys up front. And just all the behind the scenes stuff, and his wife, the Prez, obviously, she leads it all. She's the glue that keeps it all together and behind the scenes, and so we couldn't do without the Murphys, that's for sure. And then we have Coach Nick Stevens, who's plays his role extremely well. Does the D-backs and the receivers. And you can see,
Booth guy, too.
Yep. He's in the booth game nights, does a great job there, and you could see, the last year or so, he's starting to feel more comfortable with the offense and defense, and taking on definitely bigger role in that respect. And the kids, he's the good cop out of the group too.
Yeah.
So the kids, you need that.
Yes, you do.
You need a nice balance, and we do. We have, I think. We just have a great balance of all personality. It's and some days you're playing both good cop and bad cop. But I think the kids, would tell you, maybe I'm wrong, but at the end of the day, they might be a little bit upset with us at times. But at the end of the day, there's a great great trust there that we have for each other, kids and coaches. And that's a recipe for success. When you have that, at the end of the day, you can trust each other. That speaks volumes, And then you have our freshman coaches that do a phenomenal job. Coach Santos, the alumni class of 2007.
He's my D guy in the booth.
And he does a lot. He really does a lot. Not just freshmen. He's a varsity coach as well. He's there late on Sunday and Monday nights, and it's awesome having a guy that has played for you, and the type of guy he is. He's just a hardworking individual and brings a ton to this program.
He has
and
a great relationship with the kids too, because he's a little closer to them, from an age standpoint.
Yep.
Too, so,
and then Coach Levesque, who's he's teaches at the high school. Kids love him here as a teacher, and he does a great job with our football program as well. And he's starting to. You can see the comfort level is increased.
Huge help over the summer too, in the strength and conditioning.
Yeah, traveling back from Maine and
really
the Cape
committed.
just to get back here for workouts in the morning, making the one-way trip, which is just shows dedication. The kids see that, it's like, all right, everybody's on board of this thing. So couldn't feel more fortunate with who we have leading our program, coaches wise. So, we just got to keep it rolling.
That's right.
A lot of pressure on us. I know. We don't. I say that we're just about business, but we're human too. We feel it a little bit.
Of course.
We feel it. We got to keep everybody healthy, and as long as you guys are staying positive and doing everything you guys do, it's really all up to HCAT. It's the vibe. It's the HCAT.
We
vibe.
feel the pressure, believe me.
Absolutely. A lot of pressure on you guys.
I do have one quick question for you before we get into offense and defense. Numbers. How do we look this year with numbers? A freshman and.
I think total we are
Pretty good. Are we?
We're up mid-70s.
70, yeah.
Oh, nice.
70s, yeah. Varsity's mid-50s. We actually very big freshman class.
Just about 50 with varsity, and then another 24, 25 freshmen.
Yeah, and just to one point on coach's staff comments, Coach Palomo still is down working, and he handed us off 24 freshmen that went 8-0, and then they ended up losing in the playoffs on a tough game, in the second round. So there's a lot of continuity that even starts with that 8th grade class, and this is a great 8th grade class. We're really excited. They had great attendance this summer, and we had, they worked hard. So we're expecting good things.
We are spoiled to have Tony down there.
Yeah.
I mean, how many guys do that? They don't have a son anywhere close to the program anymore.
It's like another coach, right?
Yeah, it's really like a middle school program.
He runs our
for us.
stuff.
Yeah.
Does everything we do.
Yeah, I was just on the phone with him today, and he's like, "Hey, when you're running out of this with a tight end, what do you guys do?" So it's like, just call me during his in between meetings at Bose.
Okay, let's get down to it. Defense first. How
Sure.
would we do the defense first this year? You look. I went saw the Franklin scrimmage. They looked okay. Looked pretty decent. What are you looking for out of the defense?
What we look for every year, team defense. Coach Perry's guys were just talking about it, and it was great to see Rat talk about, we moved him a little bit, doing your job and playing, 11 guys. So, we always talk about a D lineman can have an unbelievable game and make no tackles because he's doing his job. So being athletic, being sound in our assignments, we adjust game to game, week to week, against certain personnel. But we've had a good couple scrimmages with our base defense and getting really, assignment sound on everything, and being athletic, being physical, being passionate, communicating, all those key components.
A little young. Are they a little young at all? Or are they?
We got a nice blend, I think. We've had some younger kids step up in the secondary, and then we've kind of mix up front in our backers, and we moved a couple guys around to accentuate their strength a little bit. And we've got some depth a little bit, particularly on the D line. We have some depth. So it's exciting. We got to see. We have a lot of contrasting to the 2 scrimmages we had. Some other opponents have a little bit different, offenses. So it was good. Natick kind of lined up and ran the ball, and Franklin was more spread.
Yeah,
so tomorrow night will be good.
I saw Sam's reckless eyes when he lit up when he said something about playing defensive end. I said, Coach Athy will send you sometime.
Our DNs have always been fast and athletic guys, and that's a key part of our defense. So
It's a great fit for him, too.
Yeah, he's
It
strong.
really is, isn't it? Yeah.
Finding out, it was a little bit due to injury that we put him down there. He was having hammy problems, but he's really excelled down playing that blood spot, and now we're excited to see what he can bring, come game time.
Excellent.
He's done some great things.
So it should be. I know you'll be D-line and defense and offensive line.
There you go, son.
Absolutely.
Well, over on the offensive side, what kind of car are you going to be driving this year? You going to be driving a Hyundai, or you got a Lexus or a Jaguar?
We don't go Hyundai, Tom.
I know. I'm setting you up.
No. Hopefully not the car that I drive. I'm driving that's a 2005 Ford Explorer that's, ready to, go under, but I'm driving that thing into the ground. This team, we don't drive into the ground. We'll do what we do every year. I think we'll have different emphasis each week. It depends on what the defense is going to give us and what we feel we need to exploit, from a personnel standpoint. But we should be very versatile and should be able to attack teams' weaknesses. Jack, just an unbelievable leader. He's really, you can tell he's relishing this role of being the guy that everybody's going to turn to when the going gets tough, and whatever. I mean, he's He's looked very good in scrimmages, practices, scrimmages. Like any year, it's still early, making some mistakes, but he's the type of kid that will improve from practice to practice. And what he makes a mistake on now, he'll probably won't see too many of that. Come the next game, and he's just going to get better and better. And the offense as a whole, we got a great offensive line. We like our back rotation. We got some good, hard-working wideouts. So we should be versatile, and hopefully we'll get the war squared away and running, and which I have no doubt that we'll be able to do that. And it's just about the depth kids too. We obviously, like any team in this league, you got to stay healthy. It's not to knock the 2s and 3s that are behind them. It's just, it's an age, yeah. But there's always some kids that surprise you, that step into roles when somebody gets hurt. You're like, they're giving us a little more than we thought they'd be able to give us.
I remember 2 years ago when Joe Bellomo was the go-to back, had that great game against Duxbury, but then a couple of games he was dinged up. McIsaac was there. He got dinged up. And then in comes Sam Radcliffe, sophomore, runs over 100 yards and a couple of touchdowns.
So absolutely. And there's a kid that we probably weren't expecting that out of, but we just seem to have the kids that when their number's called, they're going to step up. But
he ended up playing tight end for us in the Super Bowl as a sophomore too.
Right. So we have some kids that have logged some minutes on the football field, varsity wise, which always helps. But then you have some kids that are out there for the first time. That that's exciting too. You love to see those kids
every scrimmage too. Week to week, scrimmage to scrimmage.
I want to talk a little bit about the beginning schedule. You got 4 of your first 5 games are at home, and the Panthers are 88% in home since 2008. 2008, you've only lost 5 games at home.
No pressure.
But
leave it to you to know that stat. Not even having to look down either, which makes you guys who you are. But
start with Millis, and they're Danny V already thinks they're going to be on top of Division 4A. Coming back, they got All-State kid Brian Espinette.
Yeah, they got a great receiver. They'll find ways to get him the ball.
And a big line.
Yeah, they're good up front. They get a lot of rotation skill kids that play different roles for them, and they rotated about 5 or 6 receivers, and they're they've got a lot coming back there on their skill, but they always do a good job coaching it up too.
We thought that was the game of the year last year.
Excitement.
And it
definitely
just went up from there.
The game called. That was a
long game too.
And they were probably the best JV team we faced all year.
Yeah,
really? Strong JV.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, they're really committed in the off season too. They work out.
Lisa, make sure we got the defibrillators in the van for this season. We're gonna have to hang on.
So that'll be, and that's always the old TVL games are always a battle. Throw records out.
All right, and then the new kid on the block. Well, not so much a kid. Lincoln Sudbury and Tom Lopez. Why don't you tell us how that got on the schedule?
Yeah.
So we originally had BC High. Actually, for 2 days we were playing BC High, and then they
did some research and said
they may have done some research and called and we're going back and forth on email. But he said he had to square one thing away, and it was it was a go, and he squared that one and so it just didn't happen. I think you got between those 2 teams, two solid programs. So after once he decided he didn't want to play us, BC High, we put it out there, we advertised. It took a little bit, and then Tom Lopez down in Florida, he's retired. That's the life right there. 6 months down in Florida, come up, coach high school football.
Yeah.
So if I can somehow
figure that one out.
Figure that one out. That's not a bad deal.
Good.
But the flip side of that is you need to be around the kids year round too. So we're, I'm sure he's making it work on that end. But he contacted me through email and said they'd be interested. So we didn't have too many takers.
And that'd be a two-year
deal. Yep, wanted our place.
And they needed an away game, right?
They needed an away game. We technically probably could have used an away game too, but it sounded like a deal breaker, and I didn't. We needed a strong opponent. We know they're a strong opponent, so we obliged to that, and
Scoop for you too. Medfield may not be ready to turf, but that would not be a home game for us.
Oh,
No, it's going to be at Medway. It looks like the Medfield game.
So the one game we'd be away. Medfield's turf potentially may not be ready.
Oh, wow.
Looks like it's not. So that looks like it's going to be at Medway.
Okay. Well,
Shorter ride.
Yeah. I don't know why they would want to come here.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
88% place.
I know.
He's got to see if he changed that. And he said, we're only 28% here. Everybody would want to come here.
Maybe
see?
we would go to a neutral location, Tom. Yeah.
right. Well, Tom Lopez will be the fourth Hall of Fame coach that you have faced, your staff has faced in your career.
Oh, wow. See, I
You're
didn't know that.
4-4 against Hall of Fame
Hall of
coaches
Famers?
Jack
with
Martinelli.
200 wins.
All right.
Jack Martinelli.
Yeah.
Yep. And then the Austin Prep coach,
Oh, yeah.
Bill Mandai, and then Dave Hughes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
He's a Hall of Famer too.
Yep.
Yeah. No, there's been some great ones that we've gone against.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
39 years for Lopez. That's just
Oh,
amazing.
yeah.
So then the Tri-Valley League, a little bit of a change. Norton moves up to the large division. Medway moves down, but you still play both
It was
teams.
interesting. They were our crossover games originally, and now they just switched roles, so they're
Yeah.
both on the schedule. So from a preparation standpoint, it doesn't really change for us, but I guess the stakes of the game, you could call it a little, but we'll like the kids say, we'll approach it like we would any
Absolutely,
game.
yep.
And that wasn't rhetoric. They spoke well in here. The group, especially the captains, about drinking the punch and approaching. But yeah, those are good games. Smalls, yeah. Well, large now, large and a small,
Right.
yeah.
All right. Well, thanks.
That's it, yeah. Thank you, guys.
We could go on forever, but
we really
we
could,
got
yeah.
the sign, Enough's enough.
Yeah, at least it's
Let's
given us
get out into the field
the hook
and
over
enjoy
there.
it.
Yeah.
So.
Guys, first, I really want to thank you again. This is so much fun for us. It really is. And every year we get to do this, and I don't even know how many years we've been doing it, but it's just so much fun. And wish you all the best. And
Thanks, Jay.
Yeah.
and take it from there and have make sure. I know you will, but just make sure the kids have a lot of fun, and that's all you can do, right?
And I say
Absolutely.
this on behalf. I always stand put the parent hat on for a second, and your games that I make DVDs for grandparents and stuff. So the experience that you guys give these kids calling the games, and then older kids watching the HCAT DVDs again, it's very cool. So give yourself an applause
you
too.
have a big following.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah.
So thank you for all you
Yeah.
guys do.
Oh, wow.
You're welcome.
Gladly do it. Gladly
Absolutely.
do it. Well, thanks for being here. Todd Kiley and Paul Athey, coaches of the Holliston Panthers for 2016. Come down and watch them.
I'm always impressed when you see and talk to these coaches, and then you meet these kids, and especially like I said this year, the size of them. I mean, Scott Elliott, the offensive lineman. I mean, he's a sophomore, and he's huge.
Right.
But the thing that really impresses me is, you get like Coach Perry talking about his offensive line, and you understand how much the relationship between these coaches and these kids, and how much they mean to each other. And that is, when you get that one person that you really want to make sure you please, you're going to be out to do the best job you can. In that offensive line, I was so happy we get to see them this year, because they really don't get a lot of recognition, and they really do start everything right from the offensive line. So that was awesome.
No, that was awesome. And also, talked on the top of the show a little bit. Should a team like this be worried about overconfidence? There's a lot of reasons to be that. You didn't get that from any of the ones that we interviewed.
No.
But the one I liked was when Ben Sally said, Coach always says, be the hunter, or Sam Athey, be the hunter. And so that gives gives an aggressiveness to the team to say, look, we're not just going to sit back and see what you can do to us or not do to us and try to win. We're gonna be actively moving that, and that's the kind of aggressive offense and defense we've seen for the last couple of years.
And no one is going to get carried away with this, because those 5 captains will take care of that really fast if they do.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's going to be another exciting season for us and for the Holliston Panthers, and hope people are joining us all season.
They will be. And tonight we just always want to thank the lovely Lisa out here and Don Cronin for helping us out and doing a good job today in putting this thing together. And we will see you, let's see, we have the tomorrow is the Literacy Bowl, so this won't be on by then. But the Millis game and then the Lincoln Sudbury game will be both games will be here the next 2 Friday nights in Holliston. So, Tom, thank you very much, and thank you all. Have a great night.
Good night, everybody.